Hello and welcome to my weekly blog, Straight Bat, where as the title suggests, I look to play with a straight bat. And today there is a subject that's close to the bone in a way, because for several weeks now, many media observers have been writing the obituary of television news. Television news mar gaya kehte hain. The breathlessly sensational, ethically flawed, and dare I say at times totally inane coverage of actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death is being seen as the last rites of a medium in seemingly terminal decline. But is this maddening 24/7 breaking news world trapped in a vicious cycle of ratings, revenues, failed regulation and hyper competition the sole entity that lies exposed by the theatre of the absurd that the case has become? Is everyone else blameless for what has happened around us? That's the question I want to answer today. Take a look at the role of the investigating agencies. When was the last time, my friends, three of the country's top national agencies, the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate and the Narcotics Control Bureau, were investing so much of time and energy in a single death case involving an actor? Lakhs of small depositors in this country struggle to get their monies back for years on end. The guilty in these financial scams get away almost every time. But suddenly, in this case, there is an attempt by the agencies to act in overdrive. I wonder why the financial scamsters are never swiftly prosecuted in India. Only last month, the Bombay High Court, for example, granted bail to the DHFL promoters, the Wadhwan brothers, who are among the prime accused in the Yes Bank money laundering case, because the ED failed to file a charge sheet within the 60 days. So, they were out on bail as a result. In the Sushant case, the ED initiates a money laundering case against Rhea Chakraborty, the actor, and her family based on a complaint filed by Sushant's family in a Bihar court alleging that 15 crores have been stolen from Sushant's account. Turns out that the allegation is false. But the ED decides to investigate without even checking the case in the first instance. And then we have the Narcotics Control Bureau, whose role is even more contentious. Based purely on WhatsApp conversations, selectively leaked by the ED even while the investigation is on, the NCB goes and registers a case against Rhea Chakraborty, her brother and the house help. Then they claim that they are going to broaden the investigations into the alleged drug cartels operating in the Hindi film industry. Let's be very clear. As a senior NCB official admitted on camera, the allegations of a small quantity of individual drug use are not in the purview of the agency in normal times, which generally looks at international and interstate connections involving drug mafias. In this case of Rhea Chakraborty, it would seem that the procurement and consumption of 59 grams of marijuana in the first instance has been enough for the NCB to make a slew of arrests. Sushant's cook, house manager, whose only crime in a sense was to go and bring the ganja for their addicted boss, they are also accused of being part of a drug syndicate. Whatever happened, my friends, to the NCB catching the real big fish and those who spearhead these drug mafias in the country? The trajectory of the case is almost fantastical. You know, a suicide case is suddenly billed as abetment to suicide, and then equally miraculously transformed or mysteriously claimed to be murder. The charges keep varying, from nepotism in Bollywood to mafia connections to financial crime to political involvement to now narcotics. A smoke and mirrors game is being played like a scripted crime on screen. Caught in an unseemly tug of war, the Bombay police and the Bihar police then engage in a war of words with little effort at basic coordination. The Supreme Court then steps in, gives the case to the CBI, again without following, some would argue, the rules of jurisdiction in such criminal matters. Let's then turn to the real elephant in the room. And the real elephant in the room, my friends, is the role of the political class in using this case for score settling and election propaganda. Every political party in Bihar has embraced Sushant's case and made Sushant an iconic figure in an attempt to invoke Bihari pride ahead of the state elections which are to be held there next month. Forget the plight of thousands of Bihari students who are stuck in flooded areas and are struggling to give their IIT and NEET exams. Forget the plight of the migrant labor of Bihar who've come back home and are also struggling to make ends meet. There is no Bihari pride, it appears there, but a campaign for justice for an actor has in a way become a convenient distraction from these real issues. The BJP, a partner in the ruling alliance in Bihar, has been making Sushant masks. They printed posters of justice to Sushant only to drive home their propaganda message. That India's number one party should use the imagery of a dead actor to play local politics, to my mind reveals the depths to which vote ke liye kuch bhi karega. We will do anything for votes. This is the new credo of the country. In Maharashtra too, the BJP has used the Sushant case to try and corner the ruling alliance, particularly the Shiv Sena. That a former Maharashtra Chief Minister Narayan Rane should make totally unsubstantiated charges of rape and murder and even draw a so-called youth minister into a conspiracy is a reflection of the coarseness of public life. Remember, Mr. Rane started with the Shiv Sena, went to the Congress, is now with the BJP. Even a more sober leader like Devendra Fadnavis has raised the political pitch. The attempt is obvious. Use the Sushant case to somehow embarrass the Shiv Sena leadership and then hope that this rickety three-party coalition collapses in the process. The utter debasement of our netas, their political machinations, these are well known. There's nothing new in it. What is more disconcerting in this Sushant case is the manner in which civil society has responded. Take a look at the film industry to which both Sushant and Rhea belong. Barring a few brave voices, a majority of the A-listers in particular in Bollywood are silent, almost frightened into submission by the cacophony of the media propaganda and the fear that you will be trolled by some social media lynch mob. If you can't speak up when an industry is being demonized or your industry is being demonized as a den of vice, then the timidity of the rich and powerful movers and shakers of cinema will one day come to haunt you. Not surprisingly, this vacuum has been filled by noisy newsmakers like Kangana Ranaut, who obviously has her own axe to grind and a possible political future to look forward to. The Shiv Sena also has invoked Marathi Manus Asmita while targeting Ranaut in abusive terms instead of ignoring her. This, to my mind, also typifies just how messed up the entire public discourse has become in this matter. Finally, I want to turn to you, the viewers. The viewers who are today lampooning TV news, you have much to answer for also, my friends. In unrelenting COVID times, when the cases are rising, when the economy is in sharp decline, when jobs are being lost, when a belligerent China is making threatening noises on the border, the average middle-class TV viewer seems to be taking voyeuristic delight in tracking every twist in this Sushant Rhea case, almost deriving, dare I say, some kind of a morbid fascination in escaping from the harsh realities of all that has happened to us in 2020, this annus horribilis as we call it. Instead of a much needed focus on serious issues of drug taking, mental illness and depression that really lie at the heart of the Sushant case and his existential crisis, as dutifully reported by psychiatrists who are treating him on record, the spotlight has been, how do I titillate the viewer with salacious gossip and at times, dare I say, fabricated news. All I can say today If this Big Boss style farcical reality TV spectacle is your preferred choice for prime time viewing, why blame the noise channels whose sole obsession has been ratings and they do not have anything really to do with true journalism? A postscript for you. Last week in Mumbai, or 10 days ago, after interviewing the much sought after Rhea Chakraborty, I went for a morning walk along Marine Drive with a few of my friends, some of whom are linked to the business world. The GDP had just registered an unprecedented contraction, and I thought I would speak to my friends about what was going wrong with the economy and get their insights. Forget the economy, one of them tells me. I want to know from you, is Rhea Chakraborty guilty or innocent? As I said, my friends, are we hurtling towards becoming a banana republic of manic voyeurs? You decide. Thanks for watching The Straight Bat.